Hi, everybody. So I was saying, um, application is essential to redeem knowledge. So recently I was at a job that I left, and it was a narcissistic environment where everybody was silent and they're walking on eggshells and they're stressed, and there are these dominating figures within management that are controlling the entire show. So on basically my second week there, when I pieced together that this was a narcissistic environment and that nothing could be done, this narcissist, or a person with narcissistic tendencies, told me, if you know what, if you don't like it, you can leave. Because I had learned all these skills that were very specified to the job, and then she moved me to a different department without my having done anything bad. And when I'm in this situation, the traumatic stress does kick in, and I start feeling very small in my body and very vulnerable. And so that's how I know that I'm in a narcissistic environment at work. And I walked up to the manager, the one that was above this person with narcissistic tendencies, and I said, you know what? I'm not going to tolerate this. You can do whatever you want. You could fire me. If this goes on, I'm resigning. In fact, I am resigning, I said to her. Because I'm not going to tolerate this sort of behavior. And it doesn't matter where I am. I just don't tolerate this kind of behavior. When I'm on the receiving end, it's not acceptable to me. If you want to see the sort of employee I am, call my references. Because I know that she's trying to, you're trying to make me feel as though my work is not up to par when it really is. Basically, I put my foot down solidly. And this narcissist, of course, pretended as though everything was fine and that something would change. And then 3 days later, I was fired. And when I was fired, I looked at her straight into the face and I said, no regrets. And you see, it's these kind of situations that redeem suffering from sociopathic relationships, because you know the cards, and because you know how to play them, and because you know what they're trying to do, it becomes actionable. But if it's not actionable, if you're sitting here and lamenting that the world has sociopaths and these people are doing this and the world is being destroyed by them, and screw this president, screw that president, look at the military industrial complex. These are not actionable things. They're not tangible realities that you can change only by yourself. It would need to be the entire species that changes and mutates into a species that sees the problem for what it is and eliminates psychopaths forever. And we're a long ways away from that ever happening. Perhaps it'll never happen in human history. But that's not your responsibility, and it's not actionable. So the problem is not actionable, then you can't be held accountable for it. And if you can't be held accountable for it, then it's like you can't do anything with it. So what he's saying is, knowledge is only powerful if you can put it into effect, if you can change something. So if you want to help the world, make a channel about this. Think about what you can do. For example, I'm making a channel about this and leaving these videos up, not because the discourse about narcissism is relevant to me so much anymore, but because I know that other people can be saved. Because I know that if a teenager happens upon my channel and starts looking at my state and what I have to say about this, or if a divorcee that's going through domestic violence sees these things, they're gonna know that they're not fucking nuts. That's part of the reason why I keep that information up. It's when I look at narcissism videos, I am beyond that. And it's not because I'm better, but because my brain has calibrated these things and has consolidated them, and I no longer have that necessity to understand who they are, because that's the knowledge that I actively sought out and acquired and applied, because I always apply it now. If I see a sick person that is trying to micromanage me, I have the tools now at my disposal to create distance between me and them, and either have them go away or walk away from the situation. I no longer need these videos, but somebody else needs them, and that's me taking what happened, the knowledge, and applying it, defining it and applying it. But I know that if I slip into the modality of thinking about serial killers, thinking about axe murderers, worrying about them without their presence, then I'm wasting my time and resources. And that's what got me to the point where I wanted to redirect my attention to something other than this topic. So he says, knowledge is useless without action, and you should always be acting upon the knowledge that you have. Otherwise, you're bearing no fruit. Okay. Hope I made that point clear. And again, this is not that you don't sympathize with casualties of war and human trafficking victims, but do something about it. Read about it. Create a channel. Try to create resources around PTSD healing. Try to help out people by putting information up. Become an activist. That's doing something. And that's how you channel that energy into something positive. So that's what he talks about, how everything negative in your life can turn out for the positive if you take responsibility and really strive to generate a positive from a negative. It's not always easy, but it is possible. Surround yourself with honest and forward-minded people and avoid negative energy. And this is important because we, as people that do not have boundaries or have not built those throughout the course of our lives, are very easily taken in by the energy that surrounds us. So if you're around positive-minded people that are forward-thinking and don't complain and are active, then that energetic tendency to be active and not complain infects you. Whereas if you're around hysterical people that are always complaining and always trying to create chaos, irrespective of whether or not they have NPD, BPD, or any sort of other situation, then that's not helping you heal at a certain point. That's not to say that you should not be concerned with people that are depressed. But again, you have to measure what it is you can do for these people without completely depleting yourself of energy. Because when you deplete yourself of energy, you have no time for yourself, and you have no time for people that are trying to create positive changes in your life. So don't avoid the suffering, don't avoid the depression, don't avoid the people that are truly suffering in the world and need a hug from you. But don't go out of your way to be around that too often, because you need help too. Because you're in a state of soul regeneration. You're in a state where your soul is ready to be revived, and sometimes being overly concerned about people who are also in a state of are in a negative state will not help you. And if you cannot stand on your own 2 feet, and if you are depleted, then you're not helping anybody, and you're not helping yourself either. So it's a question of balance. And this is something that makes me smile because it's funny. His book is full of funny little quirks. He talks about an LNLBL buddy. Let's no longer be losers partner. No, it's an LNL. Yeah, something like that. BL or PL. He's saying you need to get a person in your life, or 2 people, or a few people, that are ready for growth, that are ready for forward action, that want to concentrate on something for themselves. And you guys need to encourage yourselves. And I think this is a great plan. And in my opinion, we should create like a mentor program where people that are further along, let's say, in the process of recovery, talk to people about what they've been able to achieve and clap for each other. Maybe somebody in the New York area wants to contact me. I would need to talk to you first, and I would need to really be sure that you're legit, because we know that there's lots of psychos in this state. But wants to reach out to me and basically be my LNLBL buddy. We can check in with each other once a week and talk about our progress and what we've been able to achieve towards our goals that we set out, or our own visions. And I recommend that you, in the comments section, write what part of the country you're in, and maybe you can meet up with one another. Again, be sure that you screen these people. Be sure you speak with them first before meeting them, and see if they've commented on previous videos, because then in that case, chances are that they're legit. So I'm putting in a word of caution there for you. So, expel negative self-talk when you make mistakes, and affirm progress in minor victories. You're not going to heal in one day. You're not going to all of a sudden be a better version of the best version of yourself. Life is a progression. Sometimes we have to regress in order to progress, and that's okay. Life is messy. And that's if whether or not you're with people or without people in your life. So stop being negative towards yourself. Be critical of yourself, but don't be negative. There's a difference between saying, I didn't do my best today and I'm going to do better tomorrow, or saying, I'm a complete loser and a piece of shit. Like, there's a difference between the inner critic that is destroying you and the inner critic that is evaluating you.